Ayan. Okay, so yun, nakamute ako kanina. So good morning everyone. Good morning GAS 12 and ABM 12. So yun, nag-send na ako ng grade sa ABM 12. So di ko sure kung sino yung mag-send ng grade for GAS 12 kasi meron pang isang subject na hindi pa nasasubmit. So ano po yun, yung piling larangan, hindi pa siya tapos ng teacher. So kung sino man yung subject teacher nyo doon. So yun, di mo na tayo siguro makakapag-send ng card kasi meron pang missing na hindi pa tapos i-compute na grade. So definitely will expect or just to set your expectation, baka yung grades nyo ma-receive nyo next quarter na. Pero yun, sinabi ko sa mga teachers na kung INC man kayo or incomplete or meron or below 75, mag-reach out doon sa mga students na nakakuha ng ganung grade. So, para makabawi sila ng second quarter. Okay, so sa grade 12 ng GAS, di ko sure kung ako ba yung mag-send or yung advisor nyo. Pero I think yun, wait muna tayo or maghintay muna tayo ng instruction ng advisor nyo kung saan na ba yung mag-send. Pero nagsabi na ako na sa mga teachers na, especially sa mga advisor na as much as possible, sila na lang yung mag-send ng grades sa mga advisory class nila. Okay, so yun, kung may missing grade or below 75, just make sure na makabawi kayo by second quarter. Okay, so sa applied economics naman, again, pag natin ulit-ulit yung written works, and so highest score yung nire-record ko sa written works. And then so performance task, again, priority ko na i-record yung first attempt na score. But kung yung majority is bagsak sa first time score or yung first attempt niya, then baka i-record ko yung highest score. So make sure lang din na, or kung may time kayo, kung wala naman kayong masyadong ginagawa, pwede nyo rin ulitin yung performance task kasi baka i-record ko yung highest score. Okay? So, ayun. So, since ito yung first day natin ng second quarter, ayun, nagpapalay lang ako ng pre-recorded video. And then we'll discuss then ito sa next week. Okay, so, ayun, I'll play na yung pre-recorded. For those who want to, yan, sa mga GAS na nandito, if you want to know your grade, yan, just ping me. Okay, just ping me. Pero di ko sure kung pwede kong ibigay yung ibang grade for the GAS. Yan. Sino ba advisor ng GAS 12? Si Miss Ronda. Yan, GAS 12. Sinong advisor ng GAS 12? Yan, wala pang sagong may GAS dito eh. Isa lang. Si Warren lang yun nandito. Ayun. I'll ask them kung ako ba yung mag-send. Okay, so if you want to know your grade and in applied economics, then si Miss Chewell. Okay, so kung si Miss Chewell, baka siya na yung mag-send ng grade nyo. Pero not sure kung this week, baka next week kasi busy pa yung mga teachers nyo. Kasi nga ang dami kinocompute na grades, especially for those who are handling all strand. And lalo na sila Miss Ron, sila Miss Pat, nag-busy yan kasi all strand yung hawak nila. Unlike sa akin, ang hawak ko lang naman is GAS tsaka ABM. So, nakakapag-compute ako ng grades and yung kay Miss Ali. Okay, so yun, if you want to know your grades sa applied economics, so while I play this pre-recorded video, you can now just ping me here and then I'll reply din naman privately. Okay, so let's start na.
Good day, everyone. Good day, grade 12 AVM and GAS.
Okay.
So for today, we're going to discuss Applied Economics, Chapter 3, Industry and Environmental Analysis, Business Opportunities Identification. Okay, so in this chapter, we have 3 lessons, no? And good for 3 weeks or maybe 2 weeks. No? And for lesson 10, we have the principles, tools, and techniques in creating a business. So, matatakal natin dito yung mga steps in effective decision-making tools, tools and techniques in making an efficient business, competition, technical, marketing techniques, and up to the impact of suppliers to the business. So yun yung mga pwede nating i-discuss sa lesson 10. For lesson 11 naman, no, ito naman, types of industries. So we're going to talk about the agribusinesses in the Philippines, manufacturing in the Philippines, and then approaches for manufacturers, retail and services, yung mga international trade din, and then yung mga top 10 exports and imports na involve yung Philippines. Ayun. And then for lesson 12 naman, no, for our last lesson for chapter 3, we're going to talk about the industry and environmental analysis and the identification of business opportunities. So, andito yung mga environmental analysis and the importance of business environment, objective no environmental analysis, process, yung mga techniques din ng business environmental analysis, the SWOT, ayan, walang kamatayang SWOT, natakala din natin to sa entrepreneurship, and I think grade 11 pa lang din natatake na rin natin tong SWOT, and actually nagawa nyo na rin to nung gumagawa kayo ng business plan, di ba, yung mga SWOT. Yan, so dapat familiar na rin tayo dito. Yan, and yun nga, yung internal and external factors din ng SWOT. Yan, actually parang natakal ko na din siya. Identification of business opportunities and yung mga ideas ng small businesses in the Philippines, lalo na this pandemic, ano kaya yung mga magagandang business na pwede nating pasukin, no? And real estate investing, how to identify business opportunities, and we should study, no, demand and supply gaps. Pero actually natakal na din natin siya sa from the last chapters, no, yung supply and demand. And we should study import and export movements in the Philippines and capitalize on available resources. And then adapt, complement, and reshape, and up to screen and select best investment alternative. So, ano-ano kaya yung mga magandang investment? Lalo na kung meron tayong extra money, and kung may extra money tayo, nag-iisip tayo kung paano tayo kikita. So, ano-ano kaya yung mga magagandang investment? Okay. So, for our overview, ayan, kung nakikita natin yung overview, ayan, it is widely accepted that small and medium enterprises, or yung tinatawag nating mga SME, play a very important and significant role in the economic and social development of a country. This is an acknowledgement by the Philippine government itself through the Department of Trade and Industry, or yung DTI, in its 2004 to 2010 SME development plan. So, ito yung mga questions na dapat natin masagot sa lesson na to, no? Yung contemporary economics issue facing the Filipino entrepreneur. Ayan, should the new startup focus on introducing a new product or service based on a net need? Ayan, should the venture select an existing product or service from one market and offer it in another where it may not be available? Should the firm bank on a tried and tested formula that has worked elsewhere, such as a franchise operation? Ayan, so yun nga, yung una, dapat bang mag-start tayo ng business based doon sa mga unmet need, 'di ba, napag-aralan natin sa supply and demand. For example, kaya nagkakaroon ng mga unmet need, unti lang yung supply pero napakadami ng demand. Kaya merong mga unmet need. So yung gap na yon between the supply and demand, na kunyari maraming demand tapos unti lang yung supply, pwede ba tayong gumawa ng mga alternative na ways para ma-meet yung mga needs na yon? For example, dahil unti lang yung nagsusupply nung certain product na yun, pwede na tayo mag-start ng sarili nating business na pwede tayo mag-offer ng same service and same product para ma-meet natin yung needs ng mga tao. Next naman, should the venture select an existing product or service from one market? Yan, kung for example, may available na product dito and then sa ibang bansa hindi siya available. So, do you think opportunity na yun para makapagbukas tayo ng ganong market, same product and same service din, pero syempre ibang brand, para makater din natin yung country na yun or yung lugar na yun na wala namang ganong product or service na nag-o-offer. Okay? And lastly, should the firm bank on a tried and tested formula? Ayan. So, kayo ba, kunyari mag-start kayo ng business, kunyari nanalo kayo sa loto. Ayan. And then, nag-iisip kayo kung paano nyo ma-maintain yung pera nyo and then kung paano nyo pa mas mapapalago. Anong gagawin nyo? Mag-i-invent ba kayo ng sarili nyong business or magpa-franchise na lang kayo? Ganun. So, ano yung pipiliin nyo sa dalawa? Ayan. So, syempre, depende yan sa lakas ng loob natin, no? Yan, depende yan sa sa pag-take natin ng risk. Kasi sa business, dapat nag-take tayo ng risk and then malakas ang loob natin. Okay, so after this discussion, meron tayong mga objectives, no? So at the end of this discussion, we should be able to apply tools and techniques for business opportunities. And then we should be able to discuss business opportunities in the country, especially dito sa Pilipinas. Ano kaya yung makikita nating mga business opportunities dito sa Philippines? And then analyze the industry and environment of businesses in the country. So for our lesson 10, principles, tools, and techniques in creating a business. And so for this lesson, since first week natin for fourth quarter. So last quarter nyo na to. Last grading na din siya. So, ayun, unting push na lang, no? And then matatapos na yung school year natin. So for our lesson 10, meron din tayong objectives. So after this lesson, we should be able to discuss the different principles in creating business and then explain the SWOT techniques Actually, kayo nga kaya nyo nang i-explain dito kasi ilang beses natin tong diniscuss. Know the different steps in decision making. Yan, na pwede nyo rin i-apply sa buhay nyo. Okay, so first we have the principles in creating a business. So according to the new Oxford American Dictionary, a principle, ang meaning daw ng principle, is a fundamental truth or proposition that serves as the foundation for a system of belief or behavior or for a chain of reasoning. So, malaking bagay ng principle even in our life.
Dalawa talaga yung ginawa niya.
Principles.
Isa't kalahati ka, ano yung sa'yo?
Driving. So, for us to be successful in business, meron din tayong mga principles na pwede nating tignan or sundin. So, in business, we have 10 principles. Yan. Especially for the small businesses. Ayan. Yan. So, swak sa kanila to. First principle is the scalability. Yan. The meaning nito, no, the capability of the system, network, or process to be enlarged in order to accommodate that growth. So a business must be scalable for it to be successful. So for example, small business built rightly can grow 10,000 times its current size, no? So for example, sa mga maliliit na business, meron siyang chances na mas lumaki pa siya in the future. For example, yung dating business ni Henry's, yung SM. Dati maliit lang yun na shop, tapos or na maliit lang siya na store. Ngayon, 'di ba, sobrang laki niya na. So dapat meron tayong vision na ganun. Okay. And then next, big ideas. So a small business is no more effective than the idea upon which it is built. The entrepreneur's vision is more important to the life of the business than anything else. Yun, syempre, as an entrepreneur or business man, businesswoman, dapat maganda yung vision natin, malawak yung vision natin, malayo yung vision natin. Yan, so dapat, di ba, kaya nung pinakreate ko kayo ng mission and vision, yung vision nyo, sabi ko, maging ambitious na kayo. Kasi pag mas malaki yung ambition natin, mas malaki yung mga steps natin. Ayan. Tsaka meron tayong eagerness kasi malaki yung pangarap natin eh. Ganun siya. And next, systems. You must recognize that a small business is a system in which all parts contribute to the success or failure of the whole. In this system, everything must work together, from employee to president, from equipment to resources. So, syempre, hindi lang naman malalaking business yung may system as well as yung mga maliliit ding businesses. So, paano nga ba nangyari yung mga system? So, syempre, di ba, merong sa isang organization, may iba't iba tayong department. Siguro merong mga sales department, may HR department, may accounting department. So, dapat yung mga ginagawa natin doon, ayusin natin kasi baka may effect siya sa ibang department. So, for example, pag tapos natin ng reports natin on time, kaya may mga deadline tayong sinusunod kasi baka kailangan siya ng ibang department. No? So dapat maging aware tayo sa magiging performance natin as well as yung mga activities na ginagawa natin kasi baka may effect siya sa ibang department. Okay? Next is the sustainability. A business must be dynamic to thrive through all economic conditions in all markets, providing meaningful, highly differentiated results to all of its customers, such as Such differentiation is key to survival. So dapat pag nag-business ka, hindi kayong common, no? Though meron kasing pag nag-isip ka rin ng business, pwede naman din siyang common, pero lagyan mo ng twist. Make sure na na kahit pa paano meron kang uniqueness from other businesses. Yan. Kasi yung ipagmamalaki mo, di ba? Kung may kaparehas ka din naman na business. So make sure na kahit common siya siguro, lagyan mo siya ng twist para meron kang edge sa ibang industry na kagaya mo. Growth. All businesses need internal growth. Yan. A small business is a school in which its employees are students and with the intention and will and determination to grow. So yun, hindi lang dapat business yung nag-grow as well as dapat yung mga tao din sa loob, yung mga employees mo, dapat napopromote, dapat tumataas ang sweldo. Ayan. Siyempre pag lumaki yung business mo, dapat i-share mo yung blessings din sa mga employees mo. And as well as ikaw din, as the owner, as the businessman, as the entrepreneur, nag-grow ka din. Kasi habang lumalaki yung business mo, mas dumadami yung challenges. Okay? Next is the vision. Manifest the higher purpose upon which it was seeded. The vision it meant is exemplify mission is to fulfill. Ayan. So yun nga yun. Katulad nga nung discussion natin about sa vision and vision. Pag nagkaroon tayo ng vision, make sure na siya, ambitious siya. And then parang, ayun nga, meron kayong gustong malayong marating. Purpose, fruit of higher aim in the mind of the person who conceived it. Ayan. And the next, autonomy. Business is not a part of the owner's life. In fact, its own entity. So sa accounting, ito nga yung tinatawag natin, merong separate entity yung business. Kumbaga, hindi dapat natin sinasama yung mga transactions ng business sa transactions na meron tayo in our personal life. So for example, may binili kang damit, hindi mo dapat charge yun sa business mo. No? Dapat iba yung ihihiwalay mo yun. Yun. So, pag sa mga accounting, magigets nila din yun. Pero yun, pwede mo rin naman siyang i-apply sa buhay. Lalo na kung meron kang store sa bahay. Kung meron kang personal expenses, meron kang personal na transactions, hindi mo dapat sinasama yun sa business transaction. Kasi magkaiba yun. Kumbaga may sariling buhay yung business mo. Profitability, business, an economic entity driving an economic reality, creating an economic certainty for the communities which it thrives. Lastly, yung standards. A small business creates a standard against which all small businesses are measured as either successful or not, and all small businesses should aim to thrive beyond the standards formally existed. So yun, dapat may standard din yung business mo. So for example, sa mga quality na pinoprovide ng mga manufacturers, ayan, may mga standard tayong sinusunod. Pag mga service naman, meron din tayong standard din na sinusunod kung gaano dapat kaganda yung nagiging service mo. Actually, ito rin yung nagiging measurement ng mga owners kung paano nila i-increasehan yung mga employees nila. Ayan. So we have 7 steps in effective decision making. And so first is identify the decision to be made. So after realizing that a decision must be made, you then go through an internal process of trying to clearly define nature of the decision you must make. Next is gather relevant information. Most decisions require collecting pertinent information, and some information must be sought from within yourself through a process of self-assessment, while other information must be sought from outside books, people, and the other resources. Ayan, parang RRL lang din, no? Review of related literature. So, hindi lang dapat self-assessment as well as yung pag-research din natin. Yan, para meron tayong backup, para ma-justify din natin yung mga decisions natin. Next is identify alternatives through this process. Through the process of collecting information, you will probably identify several possible paths of action or alternatives. So in this step of decision-making process, you will list all possible and desirable alternatives. Next is weigh evidence. In this step, you draw on your information and emotions to imagine that it would be like if you carried out each of the alternatives to the end. You must evaluate whether the need identified in the identification of the decision to be made. Yeah, this would be helped or solved through the use of each alternative. Yan. So, meron tayong mga alternatives, meron tayong mga course of actions na naiisip. Then, i-weigh natin yun kung ano na ba talaga yung pipiliin natin doon. So, pwede tayong mag-cost and benefit analysis. Yan, yung mga techniques. Choose among alternatives. Once you have weighed all the evidence, you are ready to select the choice that seemed to be the best suited to you. Next is take action. Ayan, i-put mo into action yung choices na napili mo, yung alternatives na napili mo. And lastly, review, decision, and consequences. So, hindi lang dapat nagtatapos sa doon sa application mo ng alternatives, no? Porque na-apply mo na siya, nagawa mo na siya, ay magtatapos na yun doon. Dapat, i-review din natin yung mga decision natin and yung consequences ng ginawa natin. Kung nag-improve ba, may improvement ba, kung naging worse ba. Kung naging worse, let's go back to the first step. Ayan. Actually, paulit-ulit lang din naman yan. Okay, so we have different decision-making tools. Pwede rin naman kayong mag-search din sa Google. Marami pa rin types ng decision-making tools. So for this lesson, yun na, pumili lang ako ng 7. Yan. So first is the decision matrix. And you can create a table with all the options in the first column and all the factors and the effect of the decision in the first row. Yan. And then next is the chart. Yan, a chart weighing the plus and minuses of the options. Pwede itong cost and benefit. Yan, kunyari yung sa left side, yung benefit, and then yung right side, yung cost. Yan, para makita natin kung malay mo, ang nakikita lang kasi natin yung malaking benefit pero hindi natin nakikita yung cost nito. Yung mga maaaring expenses na makuha natin, no? Yan. Next is decision 3, a graph or model that involves contemplating each option and the outcomes of each. Ayan, pwede nyo rin itong gawin, yung decision 3. Ayan, yung mga types din ng, yung mga, ilalagay nyo lang dun sa may sanga, yung mga decisions nyo. And then, ano kaya yung magiging factors niya? Yan, so magkakaroon ng mga sanga-sanga ni magiging factors na ano yung gagawin nyo, parang ganun. Multi-voting, used when multiple people are involved in decision making. So parang ito yung mga majority, ayan, or may mga quota kayo, kaya 3/4 ng shareholders, and then ito na yung susundin nating alternative. So, pwede itong gamitin, multi-voting. Pareto analysis used when a large number of decisions need to be made. Yan. So may mga prioritization. Kunyari hindi lang isang alternatives yung kailangan natin. Siguro kailangan natin ng mga at least 5 alternatives So meron tayong, pwede natin siyang gamitin yung Pareto analysis. And next is cost and benefit. Parang katulad din siya ng T-chart. Plus and minus lang din, pero ito naman cost and benefit. So sa T-chart, pwede ka rin naman gumamit ng mga plus and minus. Hindi lang naman cost and benefit yung pwede maging plus and minus. Okay, so cost and benefit naman, ginagamit naman to pag mayroong involved na pera, may involved na financials. Yan. Number 7, conjoint analysis, used by business leaders to determine consumer preferences when making decision. Yan. So, kino-consider natin yung preferences ng mga consumer. Yan. So, we have tools and techniques in making an efficient business. Okay, so the first one, use technology to speed workflow, speed up workflow. Yan. Small businesses should be looking to innovations of technology to solve day-to-day inconveniences. Yan. So, kunyari, lumalaki na yung business nyo, parami na ng parami yung bumibili. So, I think dapat meron na kayong machine para mas madaling ma-record yun. Yan. And another example, a huge amount of time is often spent on admin and sending information back and forth between various parties. So, parang pwede rin kayo gumawa ng mga innovations. Next is shorter meetings fuel efficiency, no? So, ito nangyayari dito sa office, lalo na pag kunyari wala naman palang kwenta yung pag-uusapan, bakit kailangan pang mag-meeting, pwede naman palang isend na lang sa email, bakit kailangan pang magkita-kita, bakit kailangan pang mag-Zoom, pwede naman palang isend sa email yung gustong i-tackle. So, yon parang lalo na pag kung isang tao lang naman yung magsasalita, bakit di na lang email, di ba? Yan. Next, smart office space. Yan. So, ito, dapat meron din tayong magandang office layout. Yan. Actually, di ba kasama rin to sa business plan nyo, yung magandang office layout. Yan. So, for example, may second floor yung store nyo. Ayan. Di ba normally yung mga cashier, ayan, yung pagbibilhan natin, nasa baba yun dapat, di ba? Ayun, baka naman ilagay nyo sa second floor, mahirap naman yun, aakyat pa sa taas yung mga customer, di ba? So, dapat meron tayong magandang office layout or store layout. Yan. And also, dapat, kunyari yung isang department, dapat magkakasama yun. Mamaya hiwa-hiwalay pala yung mga accountants nyo, magkakahiwa-hiwalay din pala yung mga marketers nyo. So, magulo yun. No, kanya-kanya kayong space. Kaya sa mga malaking organization, may kanya-kanyang office per department. Ayun yung logic kung bakit ganun. Small changes, big savings. Ayan. So, pwede ka naman magkaroon ng innovations, pero make sure na unti lang, no? Yan. Manage staff expenses. Ayan, dapat minomonitor din natin yung mga expenses ng staff natin. Especially pag sa mga office supplies, baka naman binubulsa nila, di ba? So, dapat minomonitor din natin yun. And kung hindi naman na siya kailangan, kunyari kung kaya naman palang paperless, bakit hindi, di ba? Mas makakatipid tayo pag laging through email na lang. And then, meron naman tayong mga Excel na para pag nag-solve tayo, mas madali. Ganun. Keep a firm grip on cash flow. Ayan. So, turnover is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash flow is the reality. So, it is an old saying that business owners would do well to heed. Identify the payment process and key names at your top customers that make up 80% of the business. Yan, 5 working days after sending out the invoice, make sure your courtesy call to check all is in order and on the invoice. Ayun. Next is stay connected on the move. The growing trend towards mobile and flexible working means that employees are permanently connected and are increasingly working on the go. The new generation of portable print and scan technology offers huge support for business efficiency and moves. Yan. And then next, use time more efficiently. Yan. Mas better na, yan, minsan kaya, di ba, minsan may mga managers na bigla-bigla naninilip sa isang department kasi naman baka naman nagdi-cellphone lang kayo or hindi nyo ginagawa ng tama, ng on time yung mga work nyo. Ayun. Get the best deal on insurance. So lalo na ngayon, this pandemic, sobrang mahalaga yung insurance, no? Hindi lang sa personal, but as well as sa business din, lalo na pag maraming nagsasara. Ayan. Kaya minsan yung iba okay lang na magsara kasi may insurance naman yung business nila. Ayan. Do not be lax with the legal. So dapat kung meron tayong mga new laws, rules and regulations, mga permits na nire-release yung government, dapat ano tayo, updated tayo doon. Kasi mamaya illegal na pala yung ginagawa natin, hindi pa rin pala natin alam. Okay, so we have technical marketing techniques. Yan. First is create utility and usefulness with your product. Yan. This is the first marketing technique that we can use to beat our customer, or to beat our competitors, no? So this is to create utility, usefulness, and satisfy the needs of your customer to achieve a specific result. So this requires that you offer them something they need and can use to accomplish their other goals. Next is change your pricing. Ayan. So yung iba ang ginagawa, minsan nagkakaroon ng mura, ganyan, or nagkakaroon ng discount. Ayan, kasi may effect din siya sa behavior ng mga customer natin. Next is emphasize your product's key benefit to the customer. So ito natakil natin sa entrepreneurship, itong mga pinag-uusapan natin. Ayan. So pag nagko-commercial tayo ng product, make sure na i-emphasize mo yung benefit nito sa customer. Kasi ito nga yung dahilan kung bakit bibili ng customer yung product mo. Yung benefit na makukuha niya doon. No, yung satisfaction. Ayan. Dapat i-emphasize mo siya, lalo na pag ini-endorse natin yung isang product. Next is deliver true value of your product to your customer. So yun, kung ano yung na-emphasize mo, kung ano yung sinabi mo sa commercial, dapat ayun din yung natanggap ng mga customers natin. No? We should deliver true value ng product. Yan. Mamaya puro ano lang pala, puro kasinungalingan lang pala yung nasa commercial. Tapos hindi naman pala talaga yung totoong value ng product. Hindi naman pala yun yung totoong benefit ng product. So, magkakaroon tayo ng problem doon, no? Pwede kayong kasuhan ng customer doon eh. Dahil sa mga false information, no? Yan. So, what is competition? Yan, syempre, sa isang business, lalo na sa isang industry, merong mga competition na nangyayari. So, weak competition is one other fundamental factors that explain limited growth, productivity, and employment in the economy. So, maganda rin talagang may competition. Pag strong yung competition, mas malaki yung chances na mag-grow yung isang business kasi eager silang makipag-compete eh. Eager silang may makuhang customer. So, pagagandahin nila yung product nila, pagagandahin nila yung servisyo nila. Ayan, mag-hire sila ng mas magagaling na employees para mas mag-grow sila. Ayun. So pag hindi masyadong malakas yung competition sa industry or sa economy, edi walang masyadong growth, no? Kasi di naman sila eager or wala silang motivation para mas magbursige. Next is the cost leadership. Ito na-tackle din natin sa market competition. Ayan. Sino yung mga price leader, 'di ba? Kung sino yung mga nagse-set na ng price. Sino yung mga leaders na nagse-set na ng price ng isang product na normally doon binibase ng other businesses yung price na ipapataw nila doon sa isang product or service. Ayan. So, this is a first competitive advantage na meron ng isang business. Yan. Advantage occurs when a business able to offer the same quality product as its competitors but a lower price. Ayan, so meaning pag ito naman dahil siya ay cost leadership, meaning yung expenses na nagastos mo sa isang product, no? Kaya siya naging maganda kasi parang nakahanap ka ng a way or alternatives para mas mababa yung presyo nung product. Yan, kunya meron kayong kaparehas na product, ayan, mas napababa mo yung presyo niya pero same quality pa din, no? Maaring nakahanap ka ng alternative na resources. Ayan. Instead na dun sa medyo mahal na mga raw materials nakahanap ka or nakahanap ka din ng suppliers. Magandang relationship with the suppliers kaya nakakuha ka ng discounts. Ayun. And differentiation, secondary strategy. Typically look for one or more marketable attributes that they have that can set them apart from the competitor. So differentiation. Ayan, ano ba yung kakaiba sa product mo or service mo? Yun lang yun. Defensive strategies allow business to further distance itself from its competition. In some sense, maintaining a competitive advantage it has gained. Next is alliances. Ayan, kung hindi mo kayang kalabanin, bilhin mo, kaibiganin mo, katulad ng Jollibee, lahat ng competitors nila, ibinibili nila yan. Mga inasal, mga Goldilocks, di ba? Goldilocks ba or Red Ribbon, yun. Instead na makipag-compete sila, binibili na lang nila. Pwede rin siya maging alliance. So, I have released activity in applied economics. So, pwede natin tignan din yun. Ayan. And then, pwede nyo rin itong sagutan sa sarili nyo. Ayan. Actually, lahat naman na nandito ay nandun na sa tinaka natin kanina. Hanapin nyo na lang. Ayan. We have 2 activities in this chapter, in this lesson. Ayan. So, effective decision making, i-arrange lang naman natin siya. Ayan. Pero meron naman akong sinend na iba sa Quiver. Yun yung sasagutan natin. Ito naman for review lang, self-review. Kung naalala niyo yung mga diniscuss natin.
Okay, so nagtanong ako kay Miss Jewel if pwede ako mag-send ng grade sa GAS 12. So yun, pwede naman daw ako na lang daw yung mag-send sa GAS 12. So kung pwede, sabihin nyo na lang din sa GAS 12 na pumasok lang sa Zoom. Then I'll send yung lahat ng grade na available. Okay, so ang nandito na GAS ay si Anduke, si Warren, si Barkin, Pacaro, Arnaiz. Okay, so I'll check. Okay, may question ako about kay JC Barkin. Ayun, hindi pa complete kasi yung grades ni JC Barkin. I think ano siya, no, transferee.
Yes po, transfer po.
Ayun, baka ano, malilate yung sa kanya ng grade kasi ayun, baka si Miss May, pero not now. Ayun, kasi yung grades na nandito niya is hindi pa available. Baka kinocompute pa yung iba niyang grades sa ibang subject. Okay? So yun, I'll send na yung mga sa mga nandito. Okay, and then sa mga EBM na wala kanina. Okay, so yung gas mo na uunahin ko. Send lang yan. So if you have questions, lalo na pag sa subject ko, let me know. Then, ayun, i-check ko, no, so, ang missing pala na grade sa grade 12 ay politics, wala pang grade. Check ko, ayan, wala pang grade sa piling larangan. Ay, wala pang grades doon. Ayun, yun lang pala. So, si Miss Ron ulit yun, no, yung teacher doon. Okay. Yan. So, yung pinlarangan na lang yung natitirang grade. So, kung ayun. Wait na lang natin kasi medyo busy pa si Miss Ron. Oh, okay. Sige. I'll send yung grade dito, ha. Okay, so yun, kunyari meron kayong mababang grade sa first quarter, you still have 1 quarter pa rin na para habulin yung mga kulang nyo. Okay, so kunyari mababa yung grades nyo like below 75 or incomplete or walang grade. So you can still ask your teachers, no, kung ano yung kulang nyo, yung subject teachers nyo, kung ano yung kulang nyo. And then I think may policy naman atang school na kahit late, pwedeng i-record. But wag naman sana magsasubmit na ano na, tapos na yung semester, tapos na yung school year, tapos na yung mag-graduation na lahat saka lang gagawa. So hindi naman, wag naman sana ganun, no? At least kahit isang quarter pa din natin habulin. For example, ngayon, first quarter, mababa yung mga grades na nakuha mo kasi meron kang mga na-miss na activities, ganyan. Then, you can ask your subject teacher kung ano ba yung kulang nyong activities. Kung meron pa kayong hindi nasasend na activities, then, isend nyo pa rin, no? Kasi baka i-consider pa yun ng teachers nyo. Most likely, i-consider yun ng teachers nyo, lalo na kung mababa yung grades nyo. And ayun nga, gusto rin ni Miss Alili na kahit late, i-record pa din. Huwag lang sanang super late, graduation na again, tapos na yung semester, saka lang mag-send ng activity ng first quarter. Huwag naman sana ganun, no? Masyado namang abuso yun pag ganun. Okay lang yung first quarter, then hahabulin ng second quarter. Hindi pwedeng first quarter, saka lang kayo gagawa ng fourth quarter na. Hindi naman pwedeng ganun. Especially for the grade 12. Pag grade 12, medyo mahigpit na yung school ngayon kasi second year nyo na ng online learning. So dapat 1 year pa lang nakapag-adjust na kayo, nagawa nyo na yung habit nyo kung kumbaga parang na-plansya nyo na yung habit nyo or schedule nyo, no, ng pagsasagot ng mga modules or activities online. pag first year nyo, no, yung last year, okay lang yun, nag-a-adjust tayo lahat, hindi pwedeng magbaksak. But right now, since second year nyo na ng online learning, pwede na tayong magbaksak ng student, especially kung hindi naman talaga nagsasagot or walang sinagutan at all. So, anong ilalagay natin grade doon, di ba? Wala. Okay? So, again, pag grade 12 sa mga graduating na, pwede na tayong magbaksak. Okay? So, dapat hindi na kayo pwedeng, hindi nyo na dapat siya i-take for granted. Last year kasi ang kami nag-take for granted ng online learning. Like, wala talagang sinagutan at all at wala kaming magawa kundi habulin sila ng habulin. Like, tapos na yung school year, saka lang sila nagsasagot, saka lang sila naghahabol. Okay? So, for the grade 12, medyo mahigpit tayo ngayon. Again, pwede na tayong magbaksak. Pwede nang magbaksak yung teachers nyo. Okay? So, kung kayang habulin, habulin natin. Okay? Yan, nag-start na ako mag-send sa mga gas. Okay. So, stay lang. Yung grade 11 na, grade 12 ABM na tapos nang bigyan ng grade, pwede nang pwede na silang mag-out. Okay.
Hello po. Nag-chat po ako dito sa Zoom po.
Nabasa ko. For JC. Oo, sige. Balikan kita later. Pero nabasa ko na siya.
Okay po. Sige po. Thank you.
Oh.
Bale, stay lang po ako dito sa Zoom po. Thank you po.
Ayan. For Barkin sa akin, ito ba isang subject lang naman ako for APA. Ayun, APA. Yan yung, nasan ka na yung grade mo sa applied economics. So, yung ibang subject kasi, missing pa. Ayan, so nasan ko na for DC Barkin. Then, yung other subject, waiting pa ako for you. Bali, tatanungin ko yung mga teachers kung nasan na yung grade mo for this subject. Okay? So, yun, pwede ka na rin mag-out. Yun, dalawang grades ka
Yes
lang.
po. Thank you.
Sige, thank you. Okay. Okay, again, kung mababa yung grade, pwedeng habulin ha. Kasi baka may na-miss lang yung teachers nyo or late na kayo nakapag-send and then hindi pa na-record ng teachers. Okay, so don't be afraid na magtanong sa mga subject teachers natin. Okay. And kung kunyari medyo late kayo naghabol, pwede nyo rin i-PM yung subject teacher nyo na nasagutan nyo na. Kasi baka na-miss lang nila. Yeah, kung mababa yung grades as early as now, as your teacher para mahabol natin. Okay, so for my subject, meron ako mga grades na i-recompute ulit. Okay, kasi may mga late na nag-send. So, ayun, i-recompute ko yung iba. So again, for the applied economics, pag written work, pwede nyo ulitin ha, sayang yung chances na pwede nyo ma-perfect yung grade. Okay, so sino pang hindi nasa-sendan? I think nasendan ko na lahat. Meron pa bang hindi nabibigyan ng grade? Hindi pa nakakakuha ng grade? Let me know. Just ping me here. Lahat na ba nakapag-send? Again, kung may question tayo, you can ask your subject teacher. Or pwede kayong mag-ask din sa advisor nyo. Baka meron siyang action doon, no? Lalo na kung para-parehas kayo ng concern about dun sa subject, then you can ask help from your advisor. Okay? Then for my subject, yon, if may question regarding my subject, let me know. You can just ping me here or sa messenger. Ayan, if may question kung feel nyo hindi nyo deserve yung grade, then as early as now, ask your subject teachers, no? Kasi baka may na-miss lang silang activities or meron lang silang na-miss na hindi nila nakita yung activities na sinend nyo. Then, mas better, no? As early as now, ma-record yun. Okay? Kung feel nyo sobrang mababa yung grades. Okay, kung may kulang na subject, kasi ang nakikita ko lang sa database, yung piling larangan lang yung walang grade. Okay, so kung may mga missing kayong grade na walang grade, I mean, kung meron kayong nakikita subject na walang grade, either, incomplete pa, no? Baka mag-reflect pa yung grade by second quarter. Okay, so kung ganon, kung hindi nag-reflect dun sa binigay kong subject walang grade na nakalagay, then you can ask your subject teacher kung ano yung kulang nyo dun sa subject na yun. Kung bakit incomplete or walang grade. Baka may missing activity ka. Okay, so again, pag late naman, pwede pa rin i-record. I think yun nga, may policy tayo na kahit late, pwedeng i-record. Wag lang yung sobrang late. Tapos na yung semester, next semester na magsasubmit ng mga activities. Again, for grade 12, again ha, pwede tayo magbaksak pag grade 12. Okay, kasi second year nyo na ng online learning. Dapat nakapag-adjust na kayo. Okay? So, any question guys? Wala naman na bang questions? Okay, may questions pa ba regarding your grades? Okay. Okay, sa tupas, di ko pa pala nabibigyan. Di ba ba? Parang ilang ata siguro na ibigay ko. Meron pa bang na-miss? All subject na yung sinasend ko ha. Okay. So baka all subject na yung sinasend ko ha. Baka meron akong na-miss. Ayan. For the PE, sino ba yung PE nyo? Si Miss Aleli, no? Ayan. For the physical education, sa PE, ako ata yung nagre-record nito. So kung mababa yung grade, baka meron lang akong, late lang yung submission ng essay. pwede pa itong ma-improve. Okay? For the PE, ayan, magre-recompute din ako niyan pagdating ng second sem. Okay, just recheck your activities kung na-send nyo ba lahat or lahat ba ng essay. Especially essay, malaki yung impact ng essay kasi 100 points yun. Kung hindi kayo nagsagot, automatic 100 points agad yung mawawala sa inyo. Might as well magla-line of 7 or babaksak yung grade nyo. Okay? Okay, okay, Arnay. Yan, yung mga line of 7, as your teacher, baka meron lang kayo kulang na activities. Sino pa bang dito na sa sendan? Lahat na ba naka-receive ng grade? Ayun, sila pa ba? Okay. Okay, yung PE yan, for sure, tataas pa yung mga grades sa PE. Kasi baka hindi lang na-record yung essay kasi late or yung ibang activities hindi pa sagutan na. Highest score yung pinaparecord ni Miss Alili for PE ha. Sayang yung chances na mataas yung grade nyo doon. Okay, Don? Naka-receive na ba lahat ng grade? May questions ba? Let me know. Okay, kung wala ng question, pwede nang mag-out. Pwede nang mag-break. Pwede na kayong mag-lunch for those na wala ng questions. Okay. Ayan, oo nga, I feel ko nga si Joanne maghanay. Wait, I'll send kay Joanne. Okay, sent. Meron pa ba? Meron pa ba ako na miss? Meron pa ba ako na miss na subject na student na hindi pa nabibigyan ng grades? Okay, so if wala na, pwede na mag-out. Okay, so I think lahat na, no? Okay na. So thank you everyone. Thank you. I'll end the call na. Thank you.